Welcome everybody to the very first edition of the Cervin Rams Podcast. I am your host, Joey Cervin, aka Joey Cervin, aka the real one. Um, man, inaugural episode, first episode. This is for all my Rams fans and Rams fans only. Unless you know you're a fan of another franchise and you decide you want to hear a Rams fans take on the zone team. This is where we can get the best of the best. Week one preseason. Now, I can't speak for every Rams fan out there. I can only speak for myself. Me, I'm not a big wins and losses guy when it comes to preseason. For me, those things don't matter. What matters is evaluating. Uh, matters is evaluating what the rest of this roster is going to look like, um, and looking at what the possible potentials are of specific backups. Um, and it was a good showing. It was a good showing earlier against the Cowboys. Um, I mean, there were some bright spots. There was Stetson Bennett, who actually looked pretty good out there. Um, Xavier Smith, Jaquez Hunter ran the ball well. Cody Schrader in that fourth quarter, uh, with that late drive, just he looked great out there. Um, Corum with two early touchdowns on the first two drives looked pretty good. Stetson Bennett had some. I don't want to say it. He had maybe one or two things the entire game. He looked unbelievable. To be honest with you, I thought he looked great. Um, and I'll get to him afterwards because I kind of want to finish with. I kind of want to finish with him. Um, the defense looked pretty solid. They got to do better up front because what's going to happen is when we tend to have injuries, on either side of the ball, we're going to need some of these guys to step up and do their jobs, right? Um, whether it's offensive lines holding up their blocks, whether it's defensive four, the front four, holding up, being able to stop the run and put pressure on the quarterback. And in last quarter and a half or so, you didn't really see any of it. And I get it. These guys are four stringers. Some of these guys are practice squad guys, and some of these guys may not even make the team. Um, and but one thing is for sure is if you're the Rams, you got to make sure, and obviously they are right. Is us as Rams fans, we want to see okay what the rest of the SWAT roster is going to look like, and can some of these guys be dependable? And I'll tell you right now, Josiah Stewart out there look amazing. At least with my eyes personally, I think he's the only person on defense that really kind of stood out. Um, uh, Paul didn't really see too much, didn't see too much. But I thought it was overall, I thought it was a great showing. Uh, Stetson Bennett played up to the fourth quarter. Um, and then Chester Wynn ended up coming in, finishing off the last 3 minutes or so. Here's where I want to get to with Stetson Bennett. Thought he read the coverages pretty well. I thought he made some great plays off the run, getting up the pocket, uh, throwing throwing the football while on the run, hitting Xavier Smith for a 39-yarder on a fourth down play for two touchdown passes. Right. This is probably, if no, let me rephrase that. This is the best I've seen him play. You know, this is his third year playing in the preseason, but in the past 2 years, he did not look as good as this. Now, what I will say is this: is if he can continue to keep showing this, if he can keep showing to show, if he can keep showing improvement like this, and we only see him get better and better and better to the point where you feel like you could depend on him to eventually be a starter. Now, I'm not saying he will. This is all predicated on him, his ability, and his ability to grow as a quarter and as a leader, a guy you can depend on to run the offense. If he can become that guy, and if Sean McVay feels when Stafford decides to retire that we can lean on Stetson Bennett moving forward, and I don't see why you don't trade two first round picks for Micah Parsons. That's what they want. We give two rounders, give them two first rounders, 20, one in 2026, one in 2027, give up a second and a third, whatever, and maybe you throw in Byron Young. Who knows? Maybe you throw in Brennan Jackson with that as well. Who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows what that package would look like? But if Sean and Les feel like Stetson Bennett was showing improvement and getting better, they feel like he can be the guy to lead this franchise moving forward, then he hasn't tried to picks. Keep one for next year, keep one first rounder for next year, and give the Cowboys a 2026 and 2027 first rounder, and then second, third rounder, and maybe a player in there as well. Maybe like I said, someone like Byron Young or Brendan Jackson, whatever, right? Just throw one of those guys. I wouldn't be opposed to it. But if they feel like no, he still needs to be, he still needs more work, he still needs to be more polished, then yeah, I'd hold on to those picks and see if you get an Arch Manning next year in the draft. Um, but so far so good. First preseason game they won. Again, preseason games. I'm not about wins or losses whatsoever. For me, it's more about evaluating the team, what the team looks like, and seeing in my personal, again, this is just my personal opinion. Every Rams fan is different, but in my personal opinion, to see who stands out, who I feel is like okay, who needs more work, and so on and so forth. But yeah, like I said, Stetson Bennett really stood out to me today. Xavier Smith really stood out. Jaquez Hunter running with the football. Cody Schrader running with the football in that fourth quarter. Josiah Stewart, and of course, can't forget, is Blake Corum running for two touchdowns on the first two drives. Essentially, you know what I mean. Didn't see much playing time. Took him out. Let Jaquez Hunter run the football for most of the game. But for the most part, I did like what I did like what I saw. Again, we can get better in some places. We need to see more explosive plays. Didn't see enough of those. Obviously, it's a preseason, so it's whatever. But yeah, man. Overall, it was a great. It was great to see some football again in general. And it'll be every so often you see me come in here tapping with you guys, give my personal feelings about specific Rams topics and only Rams topics on this channel. And just my takes on preseason games, regular season games, whatever. Again, all Rams related. So to my Ramley, to my fellow Rams fans out there, just keep them horns up. blue and yellow all day, blue and gold, whatever, however some of you decide you want to call it. But you know, hit that like and subscribe button and keep tapping in with me, man. Because this is going to be a great season for us. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this team does moving forward the rest of the season. And let's go Rams. Let's go Rams. And I'm out.